Hey, Beaver Lodge Lions Church. You're here again with Pastor Greg, and it's a good day. So we're following along in the book of Hebrews, and I'm not going to keep you for long this week. You tuned in for 13 minutes last week, which was fantastic, but we're going to make it shorter this week. And we're doing Hebrews chapter 11, which is fantastic. It's a wonderful chapter. We've worked our way all the way through the first 10 chapters. It's been really good. And if you remember from last week, chapter 10 ended talking about our faith, right? Now remember again, we don't want to, like, chapter distinctions were not there originally. So we don't want to just end with chapter 10 and stop looking forward. Chapter 11 picks up that same theme, again, of faith moving forward. Now, if you tuned in on Sunday morning to our Sunday morning service, you would have heard that Pastor Michelle is resigning her position as of August 31st, feeling like God is calling her to something new. She's not quite sure what that looks like yet, but she's moving out in faith, and she actually used Hebrews chapter 11, where it speaks about Abraham stepping out in faith and following God to a distant land, even though he didn't know where he was going. As the passage that she shared with us, just the idea that she is stepping out in faith, going to a distant land. I mean, she's actually staying in the Beaver Lodge area and continuing to come to church and be part of our church body, but she's stepping out into the unknown. So that's actually a lot of what chapter 11 is all about. So the beginning of chapter 11 starts like this. Now faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see. And then it says, this is what the ancients were commended for. And then the author of Hebrews goes through a whole bunch of different people that he says, by faith, this person did this. By faith, this person did this. And by faith, this person did this. And then in the middle of Hebrews chapter 11, this is what he says. All these people were still living by faith when they died. They did not receive the things promised. They only saw them and welcomed them from a distance. What an amazing thing to think of, the idea that these people who lived by faith didn't see the fulfillment of the promise that they were given fully. They saw little bits and pieces. Of course, Abraham came into the promised land, right? And these different people came into the things that God was calling them to. And he goes on, the rest of the other half of Hebrews chapter 11 talks about the same kind of thing, that by faith all these people did these things. But again, they didn't fully receive the promise that was coming. And you know what the promise was that was coming? And we're going to learn about it more in chapter 12. But the promise that's coming, of course, is Jesus Christ. That's who the author of Hebrews has been pointing to all the way through the book of Hebrews. By faith, these people did these things, looking forward to a promise that was going to come, and that promise was Jesus Christ. They didn't see Jesus coming. They welcomed the promise and waved to it like from a distance. We, of course, look back and have seen Jesus come. We have seen the fulfillment of that promise, and yet we still have a promise that's coming, the promise of eternity in heaven. So as you go throughout your week this week, there are lots of things that are going to happen, lots of things that are going to go on. But if we keep our eyes focused forward on the promise that's still to come, the promise of eternity with Jesus Christ in heaven, then we'll have everything else set in its right priority level. Okay, and as we go into chapter 12, we're going to see how this all comes together. But just as we're sitting in chapter 11 right now, just remember that faith is being sure of what we hope for and confident of what we do not yet see. So blessings on you this week as you go through your week. I continue to pray for you. Hope you pray for us as well. We all walk by faith. Blessings on you.